Hey everybody, in today's video we're going to start building the captain's quarters. There's a lot of work to do to this, so it might be a little longer video, but I don't know if we'll get it painted, but we'll definitely get it built. So if you want to see that and more, make sure you stay tuned. Hello BSC family, and welcome back to my bench. So, like I said and showed you in the beginning, we're going to get to building the captain's quarters that go on the back, right? I don't know if we'll do much talking or whatever. I may just do it as kind of a musical, somewhat time-lapse kind of thing. But I'm going to break out all the parts. We're going to go through a bunch of the parts, and then I'm going to get to building. So I will be right back. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. Make sure you hit that bell notification. Hit that like button. Definitely check out the Instagram and Facebook group links down in the description. And a big thanks to OcCre for sending me out this ship and the workstation, among other things. If you feel like you want to get into shipbuilding, go check out their link below. See what they have there. So if you give me a second, I'll pick up all the stuff I need, and we'll take a look at it. I'll be right back. Okay everybody, so I've pretty much found everything. All the wood parts that I'm going to need, and I found all the metal parts. I only took 2 of these out because there's a whole bunch of them, but I only took 2 out to show you. Okay, so as you can see here, there's 2 different ones. One's kind of a rib cage skull and whatever, kind of a torso pedestal kind of thing. And then the other one is like a double bone. Now, you got to pay attention because there is some where the torso doesn't have this bottom pedestal piece. That's for something else. And then there's also another bone style that is only like 1 bone. Okay, so they'll be the same height. So you'll have to find those. There's a bunch of them. I left them in the case for now. I'll put these away so I don't lose them, because unfortunately this kit does not have a parts list. I wish it did, because when you buy your kits, you want to make sure that you go through all your parts and make sure everything is there. This kit should tell you that there is, 200 2x5 planking boards. There is, 5 mil diameter dowels, like everything, right? There should be, these little pieces here, like in the last video. There should be, 150 of them or whatever there is, right? And it should have a whole list, and this kit does not do that, so it'd be nice if it did. Same thing for like these things. You should have a parts list and say, okay, there's one of these and there's one of those and blah blah blah. Unfortunately, because it doesn't have that parts list, I just realized that I am missing one of these. Okay, so I'm missing one of those. Should go on the other window. Everything else seems to be here. I've got the other parts, and then of course I didn't count these pedestal spindles for the railings. I didn't count them. Hopefully they're all there. There's quite a few of them, so I'm hoping that they are. So I've got all this. So what am I going to do with this here? Well, I picked this stuff up off of Amazon. And it's a thermoplastic, right? Now I've got much more of it here somewhere. I can't seem to find it at the moment, but this, what I've got here, should be enough. So this is just like a plastic you know, it's thermoplastic. So what you're going to do is you're going to boil up some water real hot, right? And then you're going to put this in. You're going to mold these things together, and it'll be like a putty. Maybe throw it back in, make sure it's nice and hot. And then I'm going to, once it's all malleable and mushed together, I'm going to squish this into it and let it cool. Okay. Once it cools, now there's a couple things I could do. Once it cools, you can pop this back out. Now I'll have a negative of that item, right? You can do this with anything, right? You know, if you need one and more, wanted to make more of these, whatever, for a different ship or something. But anyways, works even on plastic parts, you know. You can get up casting resin, use it in that. You can use 5-minute epoxy and fill it in, right? And it's kind of like a silicone, and stuff doesn't stick to it. As it is, I can already feel it. But yeah, so I'll make a negative mold, and I'll use something, you could even use that green stuff putty, you know, you mix it together. It's a 2-part putty, mix it together, you know, squish it in there real good. I'm probably going to use 5-minute epoxy. Reason being, there is quite a few intricate little things, teeth and, you know, stuff like that. And I'm assuming that liquid is going to pour into these, all those little grooves, a lot nicer than trying to push a putty into it. Okay. And so I'm going to use the 5-minute epoxy. You could use a UV resin or a 2-part resin. I mean, you can get yourself some casting resin. You could probably even do it in silicone if you want, but silicone would be a little hard to paint. So make sure whatever you're going to use is going to be paintable, because all of this stuff is going to be getting painted, right? So that's what I'm going to do. So when it comes time to do that, I'll show you how I do it, and we'll go from there. So I'm going to cut all this stuff out, probably take a file to some of this stuff. There are some little bit of casting edges and stuff like that. But yeah, so I'll clean all this stuff, cut it all out, and then I'll come back and we'll start assembling this thing. So I shall see you in a few. Okay, everybody, so I've got everything all cut out. I did clean up a bunch of this stuff. Wasn't a whole lot that needed to be done, but there was some. So double check yours, make sure that they're good. Now, something else I did is, obviously if I had done what I was supposed to do in this area on the ship, not that you can see here, but if I was supposed to do what I was supposed to do, right, there would be no planking here, right? This would be wide open, because normally this is where the battery pack would go for your lighting, right? Now I'm doing things differently, so I ended up planking all of this. So, but by doing that, I had to recut these slots right here. I don't know if you can see that. Yeah, right here. I had to recut these slots to accommodate for this, right? This has to go in here, okay? Now, again, this is supposed to be removable for the fact that, again, your battery pack's supposed to be in here. So this whole back piece that we're going to make is supposed to come off so you can access the battery, right? Now, I'm not doing that, so mine will probably end up getting glued on. But double check yours. I had the trim on this edge here and here. Alright, and this one to fit along the side here, right? Because it was sitting up like this and it wouldn't come down the way it was supposed to, so I had to trim it to bring it up level and square. Alright, okay. Now this one does sit level and square the way it's supposed to, you know. Once I get it all into place, it'll sit where it needs to sit. Okay. Now, the next thing that I was thinking of is that when you put this together, okay, you're supposed to put these things over top and blah, blah, blah. But all they do is, once you got this stuff together, right, all they want you to do is use some putty and putty these joints and then make it smooth. I think I'm going to go one step further. I should have enough of it left, but I'm going to use the stuff that we used on the transom and on the deck. It's the 0.5 or 0.6 mil by 5, and I'm going to do the same thing kind of like this. I'm going to plank it, you know, to make it look like a siding, sand it smooth, and that should make it look a little nicer. And because it's still flat, this stuff will still glue on nicely, and we're going to be good. I'm not quite sure how I'm going to do the edges yet. I think because there's things like these things here that have to go on and they line up. Looks like I'll have enough room, because what I was thinking of doing is once it's planked, what I might do is take that same thin one and run one up this side and one up this side to make a nice corner. And yeah, I think that's what I'll end up doing. So we're going to get to this now. Let's just see here on the PDF if there's anything. So yeah, so what we're going to do is we're going to do up this piece here, and they give you this little angle finder thing here, which is right here. I'll show you in a minute because you can't see, but yeah, there's a little angle piece here. They tell you not to open the doors. We got some reinforcement pieces here, yeah, and some reinforcement on the top, and then I've got all these little corner pieces cut already. Again, I'll show you in a minute. So yeah, we'll sand all that flush in the way it needs to be, get it all glued up, let it dry, test fit it. Always test fit everything, right? And yeah, so as you can see here, they're showing you to putty up these corners, right? And to me, they're trying to get it to look mucky and stuff. And like I said before, yes, this is the Flying Dutchman, but the accuracy of this ship is so far off that to me it's not really the Flying Dutchman. So I don't want to leave these puttied edges and everything all ugly looking like that, in a sense, you know, because it's supposed to be mucky and ucky. And yeah, so I want to make them smooth, and I'm thinking of planking all of this stuff, this back transom piece here and the cabin piece itself, right? I may do the deck on both of them, but I may just leave them smooth as well. So, and yeah, we'll do up the window pieces, the screen for the windows, like the mutton bars in most cases. So yeah, let's get to it here. So, first off is we need this bottom piece. Yeah, so we need this bottom piece. Now I chipped it out here a little bit when I was filing and cutting, which isn't a big deal because like these things here will end up covering them, right? So I'm not too worried about that. So first things first is we need this one and we need this one. You know, what's going to be easier, planking these before or after? Let's see, like you're supposed to use this thing here, and this will give you the proper angle. And then these things, and it looks like the wide side down. I'm thinking if we glue these pieces here together first, these two side ones, I could probably plank it after it's glued. So let's screw it. Let's glue it, and I'll plank it afterwards, even though it's on an angle. So I'm going to use a little bit of wood glue, maybe. So we're going to put a little bit of wood glue in here, like so. We're going to put a little bit of CA glue right here, just to instantly hold it. Get this thing ready, put it in its place, like so. Now, I did that on purposely, put the CA glue in the center. That's going to hold it in place instantly, or it should, anyways. But I left the wood glue on the outer edges just for the fact that when I go to put my side pieces on, I'm able to move them around a little bit. Now, why aren't you curing here? It's sitting there, but I want to touch the bottom a little more, just kind of fill in this gap here, just to make sure it doesn't go anywhere. Okay, that's pretty solid. So now I've got the center locked right in tight. Get rid of the excess glue here. Now we're going to take these, and it's showing me that it wants the wider ones at the bottom. And they're both the same, so yeah, so we're going to use a little bit of CA glue on here. And because it's not sitting exactly where I would like it, we're going to put some wood glue here. Put the CA glue on the outside for the fact that, oops, I guess I better do that too, huh? We're going to glue that one, we're going to CA this one. That and that together. I did this in the wrong order. That's okay, that's why there's wood glue there. Okay, so that's holding. I forgot to put in, they want N4, I marked them, N4, that's N6, I need N4. So we're going to put in N4. Right. N4 is going to go in there, it's supposed to lock into there. I'm supposed to put these on first. Get these into the spots they need to be, like so. Okay, a bit of CA glue down here. We're going to put this back in, line it up where it needs to be, and voila. Like I'll get this pressed down so it holds right away. And there we go. Now, on this side, we're going to do this one first. Make sure your edges are all lined up. Okay, now we can take the other one, and we can put that one on the way it needs to be, like so. Yeah, like that. Looks good. And since I put those down, I'm not going to bother with the wood glue. Just going to go full CA glue. Make sure everything's pressed in where it needs to be. Like that. Now I am going to run an extra little bead just to make sure that everything is right where it needs to be and stays there. Like so. Give it a quick blast. And there we have it. We've got this part. What do you think of that? Right? And double check. We're pretty much bang on. A little off at the top, but sorry about that. So this one's going to straighten that one out. And that's where these ones come in. These ones will be up top here. Making sure that's all sitting straight. So we're going to put those in right away. Make sure they're flush at the top here. All right. Make sure you're flush on the front. I should move this up a little bit this way. How's that? Because I'm working over here. Okay, so next one's over here. So again, a little bit there and there. Across this one and this one. And we can put this in. Like so. Now, once you put this on, all right, that'll end up getting glued under here, like so, right? And you can adjust these where you need them to be, just to double check, you know. So, we're going to take this piece here and plug up my glue. Doesn't dry the tip out. There we go. Now we're going to test fit this on here. Make sure everything's sitting where we want it to. There and there. Looking good. Looking good. And then this one. I'll go up in here like so. Looks good so far. Now, not much I can do. There is a bit of a gap on both sides. So, I may have to check into that. I may have to put a little bit of putty or something in there, but we'll see. But first, I'm going to plank these pieces, like I said. And when I've got that done, I'll come back. Actually, I'll plank this one too as well. But I will leave this little nub here at the bottom because that has to fit in here, like so. Okay, so if you're going to do the same thing, make sure you don't cover this. You don't want to make it thicker than it's supposed to be. So give me a few and I'll be back and we'll continue on. Okay, everybody. As you can see, I got a different camera view, so just something I picked up from Amazon. But anyways, I got the siding done. Let's see, zoom in for you. So as you can see here, I got the siding all done. All right, I made a couple spots where it looked like, you know, the planks ended or whatever. Holes for the windows, they don't have to be perfect because a lot of it gets covered. All right, so whatever one this one is here, this one, I think it's this one, yeah, this one here. So the holes kind of get covered mostly, so they don't have to be perfect, right? But anyways, yeah, I got put nail holes in, make it look like it's all planked, and I did the corners with the extra 2 pieces. All right. So now I went and found all of these things. All right, there's those ones and these ones. Okay, which you can't see. Good if I did this. But anyways, yeah, so I got those. Something else I did, as you notice, the door was missing. This is what I did to the door. I cut some grooves into it to make it look like door panels. Right? Otherwise it's supposed to be, you know, flat like this one. But I didn't want it just flat and boring looking, so that's what I did to it. So when it comes time, I'll stain that and I'll glue that in. But now I'm going to start working on these things, and I'm going to use a thick CA glue, right? This one's 30 to 60 seconds. It's a 1500 CPS, whereas this one here is a 5 to 30 seconds. I got it written down, and it's kind of worn off now, but I do believe this one was a 100 CPS. And I've also got the thin, which is 5 to 15 seconds, and it's a 45 CPS, right? So I'm going to try using this one because I haven't used this one yet. This is what we're going to use and hopefully work a little better. I'm thinking anyways, a little thicker, a little more working time to be able to put these, all these little pieces, where they need to be on the deck. Right, so there's just a bunch of them here. I'll figure them out. Yeah, so hopefully that'll bite a little more. If they happen to start breaking off, I will get out the 5-minute epoxy. So I'm going to get those done. I'm also going to put on this piece for the door, because this one's going to go here. And then this one is supposed to go here, right? Kind of like so. But I have to make a copy of this one, and remember, I'm going to do this. So when I come back, we'll possibly show you how to do this. I might make this a separate video, so keep an eye out for that. I'm going to make this a separate video. This one's already starting to get a little long, so I'm going to make this off camera, but I will make a video and release it at a later date. But it'll make sure you stay tuned and hit that subscribe button, hit the bell notification so you don't miss out on this. Definitely hit the like button. So I'm going to get all these pieces put on. I'm going to make one of these off of camera, get this one glued on, and then we're going to start up on the upper, and there's more of these going on the top. So, and then once these are all on, I can put this on, right, and that'll go on there like so. So I'm going to show you what it looks like when I come back. Okay guys, so now that I've got all that stuff put together, I did off camera build the or cast another piece like I wanted to, right? So depending if this video is out before that one, I'll leave a link up here in the corner for you, right up here, right up there. All right, so go check that out. If not, check out the playlist for the ship. It'll be in there. So I do have all of these little skeleton railing posts and stuff on, right? But what you need to know is if you're building this, the bones, here, let me show you. So we've got this one done, okay? So we've got this one done, okay? And the bones and the skeletons are actually taller. You will need to file them down. So I took a little bit off the top of the head and actually quite a bit off of the bottom. These here on average were 14.77 millimeters, and these were like 15.3, 15.7. So yeah, you'll actually need to take quite a bit off of these. Now I didn't realize that at first when I put this one together, and what I had to do was drill underneath the top railing to give a bit more space, because when you put it on, it wouldn't touch any of these bone ones, right? So if you're building this, make sure you check the length and make them all the same height, right? Now, something else I'll show you on the PDF here. Okay, on the PDF, you can see like they put the bones and stuff in. Let me zoom in just a little bit here for you. Putting the bones in, if you see, they've got one right on the very end here, right? Trying to get the mouse to work properly. But anyways, then they got one here, one in this kind of archway. They got it right in the middle, one on the point, one on the point, one on the front side before it turns the corner. But if you go to this side, look at this. It's not at the very end. It's in the middle of this arch over here. This one is almost at the end of the arch over here. Then there's a second one in this arch right near the corner of the wall. Then this one's in the middle of the arch, right here. And this one's in kind of the center of this section here. And then your next one is actually at the front corner, right here. Now, you can do it that way, you know, by all means do so. But for me, if you look at like this one over here where it's got the skeletons on it, it's got a skeleton in the corner, but it's got a bone in this corner. And to me, it does not look right. So I measured it out and made basically both sides exactly the same. If this one was on the corner, middle, corner, I did the same thing over here. I put it on the corner, this corner, in the middle, you know, on the corner, inside corner. All right, and then I figured it out in the center here. I'll show you in a second. I think I put one dead center because there's one in the corner here and one in the corner here. All right, so I put one corner here and one corner here. And by doing what I did, both the bottom one and the top one, right, I did the top one as well, the same way. I actually ended up with one extra skeleton that I didn't need. So I put all the metal parts on, casted that extra one that I needed, and the top one, top deck, they did the exact same thing. If you look from one side to the other, they are not sitting, you know, they got right on the end, but yet it's in the curve, you know, right on the point. It's like over, way over. So see, there's one post here on the inside corner, right, like right there, but this one is like on the front arch, but not even in the corner of that one. So again, I just made it so it looks evenly. So I'm going to go back and I'm going to show you here. Okay, so as you can see here, maybe try and get everything to focus in again for you. Okay, so I put one, like I said, on the corner, and I did the same thing on the other side. All right, right there. And then I've got a skeleton right on the edge of the curve, right? Same thing. So I did it all the way around like that, so that there was, you know, like you can see there's one on the corner here, and one on the corner here, and then I got a skeleton in the arch, and a skeleton in the arch. So here's how the front looks. I got two bones, one in each corner, put one in the center, and then I put four skeletons. Now the top is the same way. I did the exact same thing on the top. All right, I made it even wherever it needed to be. I've got two bones here. I got the four skeletons. It's not exactly the same position as the bottom one, but what I did is, instead of having, you know, I was showing you there, one here on this side, but on the other side it was here, you know, and then a skeleton here and a skeleton here, you know, and I didn't want that. So as you can see, there's two bones here, and this one's the same thing, two bones. So, and again, same thing, make sure that your skeletons and your bones are exactly the same height, so you don't have that problem. So there's that part. Then I went and did this. All right, so all the metal is on. All right, and I tried to mimic what they had. Some of it does hang over where it's supposed to hang over, and different things like that. So now it's time to paint this and put the windows in afterwards. The casting one, as you can see from here, that's the original. This one's a casting. Now I'm not too worried about the holes and the bubbles that was created in it. If I was looking for more perfection, you could easily fill that with a little bit of putty or something and sand them out. But you can tell here that they look pretty darn good. All right. Okay, so the next thing to do is to get this, the upper deck, onto the wall, right? So it looks like this. Okay. We're going to get that settled in there where it needs to be and make sure that it fits on the back of the ship. Then once it's on the ship, we're going to put the transom in, the upper portion of the transom, right? But before all that happens, I want to stain the door and paint everything, well, stain both doors, but paint everything black and dry brush it the way they want, so I can put my windows in, so that all of this can get fitted together and put permanently on the ship. Okay, so I'm going to work at that. I'm going to get my doors stained. I'm going to get everything painted. I'll come back, we'll put all this together and fit it to the ship. I may not glue it to the ship yet, but I want to make sure that it fits and it's ready to go. And yeah, we'll go from there. So I know this is getting along, but hang in with me. There is a lot of work with this. This is about a week's worth of work so far to get things fitted, get everything setted. I've done a little extra stuff to this. So if you're liking this stuff, make sure you hit that like button for me. Definitely hit that subscribe button. Hit that bell notification. Make sure that all notifications are turned on so you don't miss out on anything. And again, a big thanks to OcCre for sending me this thing so that I can build it for you guys, right? So give me a few and I'll get this painted up and the windows in and the lead work, I guess, if you want to call it that, the lead work in the framework of the windows. So we'll get all that done, ready to test fit and glue together, right? So I'll be back. Okay, everybody. Well, I went a little further than I said I was going to, but either way, everything is painted. It all is all glued together, and I have test fitted it, so I'll show you. We also had a bit of a mishap while I was test fitting, so let me show you what it looks like, and then I'll tell you what happened, what I had to do. But anyways, so as you can see here, I'll zoom in for you. I got it all painted. All right, so here it's all painted. I got some salt streaks on there, and I got the windows in, as you can see there. All right, everything's good there on the upper. The deck and railings all painted, and then the lower windows and the captain's quarters. All right, those are all painted in. The windows are in with the lead bar in the panes of glass. All right, and those are just glued in from the back, as you can see here. Put the bar work down first, and then the clear plastic over top. And the clear plastic is stuff that comes in the kit. You sand one side, make it frosty looking, leave the other side shiny, or you can sand both sides, either way. But anyways, they're just glued in there, as you can see. Now this thing actually weighs pretty good, but as I was test fitting, none of this was glued together. I put the lower piece on and was holding that in place, and then I put this piece on and I was holding that into place, and then it was looking pretty good, and I moved my hand for a second thinking that it was going to stay there, and I was wrong. Sitting where it's supposed to be, this thing kind of tipped out. This one hit the floor and was undamaged, but when this one hit the floor, I snapped off this side. You can actually see I got a crack right here. I have to fix that, touch it up with paint, but it broke this little piece off, and then it snapped all of these off, and then loosened off a couple of these ones here. So I had to re-glue all of that down. So I've got a couple spots I need to touch up the paint. But yeah, I got that all fixed and all put back together. So now if we take this here and the ship, right, so we got the ship here. I'm going to try and record this for you. So this here will just slide right into place, just like so. And once we get everything all situated perfectly, that's what you're going to end up having. All right, so that's what it's going to look like. right? Now I have chosen to leave this off. I'm going to do the whale bars and stuff that go through, like there's, I think there's one that comes across the top here and comes up. And there's another one that comes along here somewhere down lower and comes across. So I want to get all of that stuff into place and test fit as I go. You know, I'm not quite sure where they go exactly, but once I get that all figured out, then you know, so yeah, there's I know there's one up here somewhere, and then there's another one that runs across here somewhere. I think it's just underneath the cannon ports. So yeah, I'll get those all test fitted on and or installed and stuff. That'll be in the next video. So make sure you stay tuned for all of that. And the best way to stay tuned is to make sure that you hit that subscribe button, hit that bell notifications, and make sure that all notifications are turned on so you don't miss out on anything. Hit that like button if you're liking this stuff. Definitely give me a follow on my Instagram and my Facebook group. Links for them are down in the description. If you want to help out the channel in any way, you can hit me up on the PayPal Me. You can hit that join button, and you can definitely check out my Teespring stores and see what I've got there for merch. So with all that being said, no matter what you're working on, just build it the way you want to build it. Doesn't matter how it looks as long as you're happy with it, and always build it for you, right? So until next time, later.